Everyone, welcome to Lawrie Hill, Dundee Stars fan, joining me tonight on Clan Live Fan TV. How you doing, Lawrie? Okay?
I'm very well, Kelly. Thank you for the invite.
No, you're welcome, mate. We're just going to talk about the Stars. Obviously, the big game that's coming up tomorrow night. We're recording this on Friday night. The Clan will go down through to Dundee Ice Arena tomorrow to face the Stars. We're on a good run of form at this minute in time. So just interested to catch up with you, Lawrie, find out a bit more about the Stars team, how they're doing this season, and obviously talk about a few other different issues and controversies, even with the DOPS thing. We'll have a chat about it as well, I'm sure, through the course of this. So looking at the start of the season for the Stars, obviously it may be disappointed for you guys at the bottom of the league at the minute. We've played the games to play, to be fair, but the Challenge Cup you've done reasonably well. So what's your thoughts as a Stars fan on the start to the season?
Inconsistent. I think that's the biggest thing for Dundee fans is perspective. It has been really inconsistent. The Challenge Cup, as you say, right at the start of the season, it was Belfast, Fife, Belfast and things like that. But for me, it was like a pre-season. Got some good results out of that. And we were, we'd finished second out of a group of three. Let's be honest. I've never liked the Challenge Cup. I really think it's a waste of time. The way that it was formatted this year has been a waste of time. But we played well. We played really well in some games, especially the Belfast games that we won. And then you go into the league games and it then just goes the total opposite way. And it was like watching two teams. More recently, we've got back on a good bit of form. We play Glasgow tomorrow, as you say. A chance for us to win 4 league games on the bounce at home. And the form is beginning to come back again. Big result on Wednesday there again, Challenge Cup. So I'm hoping they've not just put all their eggs in one basket and went, right, let's go for a Challenge Cup and see what we get out of that. Because for me, the league is the bread and butter. Like every sport, the playoffs is the ultimate. At this point in time, I think we're struggling. I really think we're struggling even to get to that 8th place. I really do. We need the Challenge Cup form has got to come into league games now. Or
so we will blame that, Lawrie, on injuries, because you obviously had a lot of injuries. Would you blame that on injuries, or do you think that's not a fair comment?
I wouldn't blame it on injuries. I would say the injuries have had an impact.
Yeah.
Every club goes through it. I'm just hoping that for us, injuries have happened at the start of the season. And we'll hopefully now get a run right through to the end of the season without major injuries. They have had an impact. We have been probably short benched 90% of the time in each of the games that we've played. Even the Cardiff game there on Wednesday, the guy Cody Drover, who had signed, was missing. Alex Rongier was missing. Marcus Cancampera was missing. Chris Ingles looks like he may be out for the season. Yeah. So we're running short every time. But we've always had guys coming back. And when somebody comes back, somebody always managed to go out. And I think that was it. I think it's more with the injuries. It's not a blame. We kind of get settled lines because everybody is having to change. And I think that's maybe more of the impact with the injuries.
Yeah. No, that's a fair comment, I would say, because I think when you can get all your guys on the ice, you'll see the proper Dundee Stars. And you've had that, as you say, stop-start. You get a couple back, you lose a couple. And you just can't get really... Guys are switching lines. It's very difficult to get a settled team. Yeah. Looking at recruitment, I mean, I'm always impressed with Omar Pasha, how he puts together every season a really competitive team on the ice. He seems to do it year after year. I don't know how he does it, but what's your view on the recruitment this season from the Stars?
I think he's done really well. And as you say, if we can manage to get a run of games where everybody's fit, I think we will see the real Dundee Stars. We get the lines back where they should be, then I think we'll be okay. For some of the guys that he brings in, he unearths 2 or 3 gems every year. Every year he manages to get it. Some of the players that come in, for example, Dylan Lawrence was at Coventry, he was at Edinburgh, Adam Morrison was at Fife, but it's the guys that the unknown guys that suddenly appear on the roster and you think, what's going on here? Philippe Songe, 5'3", Charlie Combs, 5'3". People probably never took a chance on them because of their height, but their ability is absolutely second to none. They play as if they're 6'3" and 6'4", and then for me, the biggest thing is Kyle Haas. Has to be Kyle Haas. It's guys like that, and I know the guy's got his flaws, right? He lost his tatty, so to say. But over the past few games, he's got this controlled aggression now, and he's playing like what you expect your tough guy to play. He's there. He's got this presence about him, but he doesn't need to get involved.
Yeah.
Wednesday's game was a classic example. There was a hit on the board by a young Craig Garrigan. Guy's skating after him. Craig gets on the bench. The guy's looking at the bench. Kyle just steps over and stands in front of him as if to say, right, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then the guy backs off. And that's it. Job done. I'd say 3-4 weeks ago, Kyle had jumped on the ice. As soon as the puck dropped, he'd have fought the guy. Yeah. Whether the guy was a willing combatant or not, he'd have just went. The red mister came down. But great player. Really good when he concentrates on his game as a D-man. He's a tough guy. But for me, his entertainment value is second to none. His interaction with the fans and younger fans is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, all guys like that. I mean, the guys, and when you're in the opposition, you love to hate. You know, guys probably like Chris Frank. You know, you guys probably hated him. Yeah, as we hated Brad Plumpton back in the day. But you know, it's guys who are characters, I think, that bring a lot to the game, and you go home talking about them. You know, in the car on the way home. And
definitely.
I think we've got a similar guy. We've got a similar sort of feeling with the clan this season, Lawrie, and that we've brought a few tough guys in, guys like Cody Saul. But what I've noticed with Cody Saul is very similar to what you're saying there with Kyle, is that he comes over and has words with guys before just jumping in. Sometimes in the past, I think we had guys who would jump in, maybe a Zach Fitzgerald who would jump in without thinking. I think you've got to control your aggression in this league. And even last season with the clan, with Lyndon Springer, we get the best out of Lyndon Springer when he actually just screwed the nut and walked away sometimes from certain situations. He fought if he had to fight, but maybe Haas with that long ban and maybe realising that he needs to, he can have a role there, but he wants to stay on the ice.
No, that's right. Chris Frank was one, Fitzgerald, Springer. Nickerson was probably another one that Dundee fans absolutely hated.
Yeah.
But if they were to sign for Dundee, you would want them on the team.
Sure.
And I think with Kyle, it's his first year in the Elite League. He's came in with this reputation. We announced him as the new sheriff. Jeff Marshall was the old sheriff because he was at Amarillo and all this stuff. And Kyle's came in. He's getting at the guns, bang back in when he fights or if he scores, things like that. And the fans love it.
Yeah.
But he came in as an enforcer to look after players. And he done it. But there was a couple of games, Guildford away, just the red mist came down, and that was when he got his suspension. Yeah. And after that, he probably knows this now, that he has to watch because the referees will go for them.
Yeah.
Referees probably still go for Springer. They would probably still go with Chris Frank. Yeah. You know, if they were involved, the guys were the guys who would get pulled out by the officials and the guys that end up going up in front of the Dops.
Yeah.
Other players, it just goes away. Robert Dowd last week with Philip Songe had the fight, but he's got him on the ice, gives him about an hour, 2 or 3 rapid, nothing, absolutely nothing, because Robert Dowd's not that type of player, so it gets left.
Yes.
If that's your Kyle Haas, potentially your Cody Saul, someone like that, they know that that's their role, so they've got to put out someone to say, no, you guys can't really be doing this.
Yeah. I suppose also, Lawrie, a point would be you guys are pretty short bench. You can't really afford to have guys out, can you? You know what I mean?
No.
And I think he's maybe thought about that as well. He's hurting his teammates, isn't he?
Yeah. I must admit, when I seen that we'd signed Kyle Haas and I looked into who he was and I seen videos of him and I seen his stats, I thought we were taking a chance.
Yeah,
you're right. We're a small budget club, and we will always just go with the sort of the minimum amount of players. Really, we'll go with hockey players. We've always been a team, Callie, who have been bullied. We'll not beat about the bush. We've had Brad Plumpton. Let's be honest, Brad Plumpton wasn't going to do anything. His fighting days were over when he was at Cardiff. He came to Dundee, and it was probably his last season. He wasn't dropping the gloves with anybody if he didn't have to, and that was proven against the Clan on a number of occasions. But Kyle, I thought we've taken a big chance here, because if we've got an enforcer probably in the same ilk as Sean McMorrow. Yeah, and look what happened to Sean McMorrow. He only lasted a very, very small amount of games, and then he was away. We just could not afford to carry him. And I think Kyle, to me, a better player, more ability than McMorrow, and can fight. But it's got to be controlled, and it's got to be at the right time.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, moving on probably that's a good point. Let's talk about Dops, because just as we're recording this, we've just had an announcement out from Dops where McNally got a 2-game ban and a couple of fines, and obviously Dundee have been asked to watch their security. Maybe put some rails on the stairs to stop folk running down the stairs. What's your views as a Star fan on that? I think as a neutral it's lenient, the 2-game ban, but what's your views on it?
I think it's lenient, but I'm not surprised. We touched on it. I do a podcast with my young lad, View from Section C. If anybody's listening, feel free to join and look out for us at Dundee. Myself and my young lad, we touched on it last night, and I think the young lad said that he thought that McNally would get maybe 5 games. And I thought 3 games, possibly 2. I've always got this thing when it comes with big teams, and when I say big teams, I'm talking the big 4: Cardiff, Belfast, Sheffield, Nottingham. I think there's rules for these guys, and there's rules for everybody else in the league. When it comes to fighting penalties, if it needs reviewed, things like that, I think they get treated a lot differently for other clubs. I'm not surprised that it's 2, but I do think it's lenient. I really do think it's lenient.
Yeah. No, I would have to agree with you on that one. So let's go back to the Stars. What Stars players have impressed you, Lawrie, this season? Who's the guys to watch out for on Saturday?
Charlie Combs, Philip Songe, as I say, a couple of buzz bombs. They're like a couple of Jack Russells. They've actually really been, for the fans, the guys that sort of sit with us, they're actually nicknamed Jack and Russell because that's what they're like. They're always there or thereabout, but really, really good players, really fast, could shoot the puck. That's one thing. The 2 of them could get that puck on their stick, and next thing it's away and it's gone. Right. Gabriel Desjardins is, for me, he was probably the big signing that we made. Compared to sort of everybody else, he was the one that came in sort of with the sort of experience of playing in different leagues. He's one of Nick Riopel's guys who used to be the Stars goalie. His hockey IQ and the way his mind goes during games, he just flows through games. Absolutely flows through games. Could pass a puck. Just slightly disappointed that he's not got more points. He got off to a very slow start. I think he got the monkey off the back down in Belfast when we won in Belfast. He's another one. Kyle Haas, as we say, nothing else needs to be said on Kyle. And one of the D-men, Marcus Cancampara, 41 years old.
Right.
Different gravy. Absolutely different gravy. Big guy. Plays the body. And when we signed him, I'm thinking, wait a minute, 41. We are taking a big chance here. But yeah, when you see him, he does not look 41. He's not got the build of a 41-year-old, and he logs up minute after minute after minute. They're the new guys, probably for the league that nobody's probably seen it, playing for Dundee or even in the league before. They're the ones that stick out for me. Adam Morrison, the netminder, we knew what we were getting when we signed Adam for Fife. And then Dryden Dow came back, who was obviously at Dundee before the COVID kicked in. And then came back this year and has been made captain. So, yeah, all in all, it's a very... There's no superstars. And I think one of the things about the team is they are really right now beginning to gel as a team. We touched on it with injuries. They all start coming back. Once they all start coming back, then everybody begins to know what the lines are. And, yeah, there's a few there, but Combs, Songe, Haas are probably the guys that sit above everybody else, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, certainly watching some of the highlights and some of the stuff I've seen in Premier Sports, they're the guys I would say have stood out for me, especially Sanj. I think he looks quite a pest of a player to play against. And to be honest, I think this will be the Clan's toughest test of the season. I've said that already on my Twitter account, and I think we're in for quite a game because you guys are starting to get people back, but I also think that the style of play you play, that fast sort of style, could give us some problems tomorrow night. Though I think Clan have got a number of class players as well within our roster, so it could come down to just who's best on the night. But I think certainly the Stars will be up for it. In the position you are in the league, you'll be seeing this as a chance to move up the league and close that gap.
Yeah. I just hope the players sort of... We've always looked, there's the 3 Scottish teams. For me, our rivalry is Fife, but there is a rivalry with Glasgow. And it's this thing about who's going to be the top Scottish team. I just hope the players realise that, playing Glasgow Clan is as close as getting to Fife Flyers as it can be.
Yeah.
They seem to build up. There seems to be a bit of a rivalry with Belfast, and I think this is maybe came from all the initial Challenge Cup games, the incidents with Haas and Boucher, and they seem to be there. But when you play the Scottish teams, you do go up a level for rivalry, and I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
Well, Dryden Dow, your captain, says this is your first derby of the season. When he put some stuff out on Twitter, I noticed earlier. So he's putting the wooden spoon out. I don't think Fife fans will be happy with that, but I would probably think you guys would see Fife as your main rival. We probably see Fife as our main rival. I wouldn't say it's a derby rival, but if you ask an average Clan fan, who would you see as the biggest rival team, they would probably say Fife. Probably coming from the Chris Frank and Nickerson and stuff like that over the years builds up. Doesn't it? But I think there's a rivalry certainly growing between ourselves and Dundee. I think we're in for a tough night tomorrow night. Coming over to the Clan, Lawrie, have you had a chance to look at the roster of the Clan this season? What's your thoughts on the players for the Clan this season that you know about?
Yeah, there's certainly 2 that I'm aware of, is Matthew Waugh and is it Nolan Laporte?
Nolan Laporte, yeah.
Yeah, I would have them in my team every day of the week. Every day of the week. I know that when just before Waugh had signed for the Clan originally, there was rumours that he was coming to Dundee, and everybody was, wow, no way is he coming to Dundee. This could be a game changer for us. And unfortunately, he went to Glasgow. He's still a player. He is still a player. He's getting older, but he still knows how to put the puck in the net. Yeah. And that's what it's all about. Putting the puck in the net will win you games.
He's contributed in every game this season. He's had either a goal or in every game he's played. Yeah,
and I must admit, I like Laporte. I like the way he plays. I think he plays on the edge. For me, he's like a Justin Farina type of player.
Yeah.
He could chip in with goals. He could chip in with assists. He could hit. He could fight. He could do everything. He's your all-rounder that I think every team needs. When he's on that bench in front of me, I don't like him. I never will. But he is a good player, I must admit. And he would be one that I'd quite happily take on the Dundee bench. Quite happily, yeah.
No, I rate him as well. We've got a few good players, I think, this season. But we are still early in our season, Lawrie. We are still probably getting game shape. Although I don't know how long that takes. But you guys are quite a bit ahead of us. Although, to be fair, you're probably just starting to get players back. Craig Moore's another one I'm interested to know a bit about. How's he settled in Dundee?
Yeah, frustratingly for everyone with Craig, he signed and then got injured straight away. We never knew what Craig was going to be like when he came back. And when he came back, I think Craig's maybe played about 4 games or something now for the season. And yeah, totally grew up. He's built up the way. He's come out the way. He seems to have a bit more aggression about him. Craig, when Craig first signed for Dundee, a while back now, there was nothing of Craig. He was a young laddie. And I think the experience that he's had down in Cardiff, the experience he's had at Glasgow, has helped him, and is now, we're probably the ones that are maybe reaping the benefits now, because he's looked upon as one of the experienced guys now.
Yeah.
We signed him, we signed Chris Ingles. That was the 2 Brit D core that we went with. I was a bit sceptical about Craig, but yeah, known Craig for a while, delighted of him, and the games that he's came back, he's came in and you wouldn't think he'd been out for the start of the season injured. Yeah. He's came in running, absolutely running. So yeah, fair play to the guy. He stepped right up as soon as he came back.
Yeah, to be fair, as a D man, I would have liked the Clan to have kept this season. To be fair, I've always been impressed with Craig Moore. I think he's a good player, a good British player as well. So yeah, good to see that. So coming on to tomorrow's game, Lawrie, it's going to be a tough one. I've said already, I think this will be a tough test for the Clan. for a number of reasons. One would be the style of play is coming together, because Clan do play pretty much in your face, so we need to probably be careful around penalties. So if you're Omar Pasha, you're coming into this game tomorrow, how do you win this game? Do you just play your normal game? What do you do?
Stick to the game plan that we've been doing, that's been winning us games. Stick to the plan that was there for the Cardiff game, even the Sheffield game we got beat, but the way we played against Nottingham and the way we played against Belfast. Stick to the same game plan that he's got there. And I would like to think, I've not seen Glasgow, I've not even seen highlights of the games, to be honest with you. I think we have to maybe shore up defensively, because I know that Yorke could hurt us. He's done it in the past. We just cannot forget about players who could just not be in games and then within minutes, bang, go, and that's it. You kind of switch off at all. So defensively, I think we've got to be really, really sound. I think Mo's got to be good in the goal. I think he's got to be on top form again. And forward-wise, just keep playing the same game. Play this high, intense, pressurised game and see what happens. I'd like to think that doing that will get us through it. And I'd also like to think that home advantage would get us through as well. But you never know. You never know.
Yeah, Paval Halas is one of the referees tomorrow. So I think both teams will need to watch their discipline, Lawrie, because that could be a big point in this game. I see that Stars are starting to get the power play going a wee bit. So it's probably something that both teams will need to watch.
Yeah. Pavel was the referee at the Cardiff game during the week, and I thought Pavel did really well. He was with the inexperienced guy Ferguson. So yeah, Pavel, I think Pavel could go one or two ways. Either there'll be nothing called, or there'll be penalties left, right, and centre. For us, yeah, we do seem to pick up a lot of penalties during games anyway, regardless of who's refereeing. So we need to stop that. The power play began to click. We're getting a lot of chances, maybe not getting a lot of goals off it, but one thing we're not doing is, and I hope I'm not going to tempt fate here, we're not letting in short-handed goals just now, which was an absolute nightmare for us at times, especially when we played Manchester. 2 short-handed goals against us away from home on the same penalty, and 2 short-hand goals at home. Crazy, absolutely crazy. But apart from that, the penalty kill for us has been quite good. You know, a lot of guys laying the body on the line, but yeah, as I say, I can't sing Matthew Wa's praises enough. I really can't. I know if we need to watch him 5-on-5, we need to watch him even more when it's 5-on-4. Really have to watch him. Yeah,
he's on form as well. And I think another one that I've been impressed with, or you'll hopefully see the best of tomorrow, is Shane Starrett, who's our new goaltender. A massive frame in the goal. And certainly if he didn't play as well as he did against Belfast Giants last weekend, we could have lost about 12 goals.
Wow.
He's really bailed us out. And I think you're going to have 2 good goalies tomorrow. You're going to have Morrison, you're going to have Starrett. I think there's guys to watch as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm just going to finish off a couple of other points. What's your aspirations for the Stars this season? What would you be happy with as a Stars fan? Do you think you can progress in the Challenge Cup, or do you think it's going to be more about making the playoffs? What's your key thing there?
I think we've given ourselves a chance now with this Challenge Cup, and I'll say it quite surprisingly that we've done it. I certainly didn't expect us to win 4-2 against Cardiff. We played them in the league and went 1-0 up, and then next time we were 6-1 down. So even when we went 1-0, 2-0 up during the week, there was always that seed of doubt that, you know, they might come back. But no, we played it. We played perfectly. I'm quietly confident we may sneak it. We may actually sneak it. As I said at the start, I'm no good. I don't like the Challenge Cup. I really don't. I think it's a pre-season for clubs. If they change the format, then fine.
Yeah.
For me, I think we should get rid of the Challenge Cup and have real playoffs at the end of the season.
Yeah,
and instead of a Final Four. When we first started the podcast this season, and we'd seen the Challenge Cup games, I was looking at 6th place. I actually thought we should be up there. No disrespect to Fife, because the way they'd started, I'm thinking, I'll disregard them. And I'm thinking we should beat Manchester. We'll disregard them. So that's us sitting in 8th place now.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, right, we should be challenging Glasgow, Coventry, and Guildford. We should be sitting in the middle of that league. Yeah. Now, I'll be happy if we get 8th place. I really will, because we've played so many games now. You know, we're at 14 games, but I think we've played something like maybe 5 games more than Glasgow. And if you guys win these games, you're away from us. I think everybody's probably got games in hand on us, and we're sitting at the bottom. So we need to pick up every game is certainly a home game is a must-win game for us at this point in time, especially against the teams that are around us.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think that's what makes you dangerous tomorrow, Lawrie. I would say with that hunger that you need to win and coming into that game, and I think Clan will face a test. I think both teams will need to be ready to go from the first puck drop. If Clan are not ready to go, they could get in trouble early on. So hopefully it'll be a good game. And I don't like to make predictions because ice hockey can go either way, as you and I know. But at the end of the day, as long as it's a good game and the best team wins, I suppose that's what matters at the end of the day. But you'll be expecting home advantage to be the difference maker tomorrow.
I hope so. I really hope so. And it's the same. It's the same for every sport. You know, you've got to win your home games. If you win your home games, you give yourself a chance, and then you hope on the road you pick up bits and pieces. So yeah, I hope for a really good game. I think it will be a good game. I really do. I think looking at both rosters, I think the clubs are quite similar the way they've set up this year. I think there'll be a lot of good hockey. I think there'll be a lot of feistiness, which is great. And as you say, I'm really hoping that home ice advantage will get us through.
Great, mate. How can we get in touch with your podcast? Is it if you give that a wee shout out?
Yeah, it's called A View from Section C.
Okay.
It's on Twitter and it's on Facebook. The young lad, he does all the social media stuff. As I say, I'm absolutely useless at this technical stuff. So he does all that. As I say, it's called A View from Section C. If you go on Twitter, you go on Facebook, just search for it and you'll see it. I think what we've done, the one we done last night was our 8th episode. So we're getting there.
I think you're allowed to comment on it. You're not going to turn the comments off on the Twitter?
No, we let it go. We let it go. We don't care. And we will apologise now. We do have bad language on it. We say it how it is. But we're you know what? We're just a dad and his boy sitting speaking about the Dundee Stars. Right. That's it. And we say how it is.
One, reviewing the Clan game will be an interesting one, so I'm sure I'll listen into that, whatever the result will be, Lawrie. But see, I really appreciate you giving us your time, because I know you're busy with stuff, and hopefully you're on the road to recovery as well. If you're
thank you.
Hopefully catch up with you tomorrow night, mate.
Yeah, we'll do, mate. Thank you very much for the invite. I really appreciate it, and take care and all the best.
Have a good one, Lawrie. All the best, mate.
Right, thank you. Bye-bye. Cheers, and bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Well, how would you like a chance to win a Matt Haywood jersey from the Matt Haywood testimonial? Kindly provided by Matt. I've got a jersey here. Top game jersey, full patches, etc. And say thanks to Matt for providing that. To have a chance to win this, all I'm looking to do is, if you subscribe to our channel, by Christmas Eve, we'll pick a winner from all our subscribers. Around about 190 subscribers so far. We'd like to go over 200 by Christmas. So subscribe to the channel. Have a chance to win this game jersey from Matt Haywood. Thanks very much.